Hey stream clippers and couponers. Today is about my experience at CVS yesterday on Sunday. One thing I have never understood is why take a job as a cashier if you hate customers? You know, like if you're a cashier, part of your job is having customer service skills, right? You know, you need to be polite, you need to be understanding, you need to know how the rules of your company work. Understand your coupon policy, you know, those basic things. Oh, and be a decent human being. Like, that would be like number one on the list, I would hope. So anyways, yesterday I went to CVS, and I will not say the location, but I had a horrible experience. There's one cashier that on 4 different occasions yesterday was the 4th occasion, that every single time I've encountered him, he's been rude to me. He's either rolled his eyes, he's either mumbled under his breath. One time I came into the store and he seriously went over to the cashier and he said, "Oh, here she comes again." And I'm thinking, like, what is your issue with me? Is it because I use coupons? Every time I use coupons, they're always legit. My coupons always apply to the items that I have in my cart or the items that I'm paying for. I don't misuse coupons. And I think for him, maybe he dislikes me simply because I've noticed he doesn't know the CVS coupon policy. He doesn't know, like, I bought something a few weeks ago and my extra care bucks did not print. And so I just said, "Oh, you know, the extra care bucks didn't print." And he was like, "Well, what am I supposed to do?" You're the cashier. You're supposed to know how to manually print the extra care bucks or not. Go ask a store manager or someone else that's above you. So anyways, aside from the point, so today was the first time I have actually called corporate on someone, which is not really a good feeling. I don't like to complain about people. I don't want someone to get in trouble. But I felt like yesterday he was completely out of line. So I'm in the store and I get to the register with my husband, and you probably saw my last CVS video where I'm showing you the deals that we got in the store, including the hair dye, the Revlon makeup. I got some cologne. So needless to say, we get to the register and my husband gets to the counter first. The cashier looks up at me and goes, "Oh, here we go again." And my husband said he mumbled that under his breath. So my husband, you know, gives him like an eye, like, "What's your problem?" But, you know, very respectfully. So the cashier like cools it for a second. He scans my, you know, the extra care bucks card, the CVS extra care card, scans that, and then from there he goes and scans all my items. And you know, to make it easier, because I can already tell he hates couponers, and given there's going to be some cashiers that do hate couponers, but I gave him the items. So I put my 4 Clairol hair dye, and then I put my 4 Revlon makeup, and then I put the 2 colognes. So I put it very clearly, like the items that I get. And then when I give him the coupons, I said, "Okay, here's my 4 coupons for the Revlon, here are my 4 coupons for the Clairol, and here's the 1 CVS coupon for the cologne set that I got, the 2 colognes." So I give it to him very, you know, neat, very organized, like making it super simple, because I already know he does not like me for whatever reason, probably because I'm a couponer and he does not like couponers. But that's not my fault. You work customer service, you're a cashier. Like, that's your job, to deal with people. Like, I'm sorry, like, you have to know how to scan coupons. Like, it's not that difficult. So he scans my coupons, or at least I thought he scanned them all, and you know, I'm watching him talking to my husband at the same time, and which is why I usually always watch the cashier like a hawk. And so I'm watching him, and then I give him my extra care bucks, and I had like $22 worth of extra care bucks that I was going to use. So my out of pocket with my coupons and my extra care bucks should have cost me about $22, right? So it should have cost me like 22 bucks. And I'm looking, the register goes from like $70 or $90, whatever it was, down to, what did it go down to? $47. And I'm thinking, like, this isn't right. Like, I'm not crazy. I know my out of pocket, I would never spend $47. So I'm like, okay, something's wrong. So I'm going through, and you know the little CVS machine, when you pay, it shows you like all the items that you got. It shows, you know, the coupons that you use, everything, right? So I go through there and I press a little button, I'm scrolling down. Of the extra care bucks that I gave him, he only input, or maybe the computer only took like $10 of them. So then I'm thinking, where's my other $12? So I mentioned it to him, and every extra care buck I had different values. I had 3 $5 ones, I had a $3, $2, 99 cents, $1.50, 79 cents, like those random values. So it's really clear to see like that they're not on the, they didn't go through. So he's like, oh, your total is $47. Exactly like that. Your total is $47. And so, I try and brush it off because I'm like, okay, I'm not going to be rude. I'm not going to be nasty. It takes two people to have an argument. I'm not going to argue with him. So I tell him, I'm like, the out-of-pocket seems a little high. I shouldn't be spending this much money. And I'm like, are you sure all of my coupons and my extra care bucks went through? Yeah, it all went through. Just pay the money. You have to swipe your card. And so, by then I'm already agitated. And then so I disregard what he says, and I'm like, I'm going to check for myself. So I start scanning through the little machine. Literally, only 4 of my extra care bucks went through. So it was like $10 worth, and I'm like, okay. So I tell him, no, about $12 of the extra care bucks that I gave you are missing. And then he goes like this, well, that's not my problem. I can't control what scans and what doesn't scan. Okay, boo-boo, don't talk to me like that. And it's like, if it doesn't scan, you need to figure out as a cashier, as a worker of CVS, as someone that's supposed to be knowledgeable of CVS coupon policy and how things work at the store, because you clearly work at CVS, you have on a CVS uniform, you have on your CVS name tag, you should know how CVS works. So I tell him, I'm like, okay, well, this extra care bucks that didn't scan, I said, can you see which ones did not scan? Even though I already know in my mind which ones did not scan. And he's like, oh, they all went through. No, they didn't. So I told him, I said, no, they didn't all go through because my out-of-pocket should not be this much. And it's only showing like 4 of the, 8 or 10 extra care bucks that I gave to you, the actual slips. And he's like, well, I can't control what scan and doesn't scan. And I said, okay, well, can I see the ones that I gave you so I can show you which ones didn't go through? Because I don't see the $1.50 on here. I don't see the 99 cents, etc., etc. The $3, $2. I said, those aren't showing up, and I know I gave those to you. So he gets an attitude, and he goes to the side, and he pulls those extra care buck slips. And then he puts them all on the counter like this. And he's like, well, I don't know which ones didn't scan. And I'm like, well, you can check them on, the screen and see. So I'm trying to keep calm. So I go on the little, monitor myself. And I go and I start separating them. I'm like, okay, this one did not scan. It said, it shows 2 $5, so I know these 2 went through. And I was like, but I gave you 3 $5 ones. So it should be less money. So long story short, I was tired, I was hungry. My husband and I were on our way to go pick up, something to eat and then go to a friend's house. So I didn't have time to be in the store, for a long time. And there's some guy behind me in line, and he's like asking the cashier, he was like, is there anyone that can help me? And it's just like, it's not helping. So the cashier's like, there's only 2 of us here. I keep telling them that they need to schedule more people, but they aren't listening to me. So my husband, turns around very politely to the other guy, and he's like, they're doing the best they can. It's really busy right now, and he said there's only 2 of them. So the other guy, he quiets down, he calms down, and it was just like the cashier was so rude. And then I had to tell him, I was just done, so I just paid for my things because everything I got, I actually needed. So I paid for the things, which was too much money, was not what I was expecting to pay, and so I just paid it. And then he's like, oh, I'll print your extra care bucks now. What did you say how much it was? Oh, $12? Okay, the $12 that didn't scan, I'll just reprint it. And I'm thinking, like, why don't you just give me my extra care bucks back that didn't scan or that you did not scan? Doesn't do that. And by then he had already like put them to the side. I don't know where he put them. He like snatched them off the counter. Just extremely, extremely rude. So he printed my $12 extra care bucks that did not scan, but that he took. So doesn't really make sense. But anyways, I did not lose extra care bucks because he printed the 12 that he took from me that did not scan in the first place. It was just strange. So he does that, and then when I get home today and I call, not today, but I get home later, I check my receipt, I'm like, wait a minute, the $10 coupon I gave him for the 2 coupons is not on here. So I'm like, did you just not scan my coupons? Because it's not adding up. So I called CVS corporate today and I filed a complaint, and this is honestly the first time I've ever called corporate to complain on someone, because I try and be really easygoing. I know people might be stressed out, you know, the holidays are here, people are worried about money, they're trying to get their gifts together, but it's just like, it was ridiculous. Like, his behavior was completely unacceptable, and because it is my local CVS, you know, I'm going to be around the area, but I'm not going to put up with that. You know, I'm not anybody's pushover. I'm very nice, I can be very kind, and you know, I try to be extremely patient even when they're rude and nasty to me, because the way I see it is, if someone's being rude and nasty and they have an attitude, if I don't respond the same way, it's like killing them with kindness. And other people are gonna see, okay, yeah, she's using coupons, yeah, she's a couponer, but when the cashier was rude and nasty and got loud, she was still kind, she was still polite. Because people may see me and think, oh, that's the couponer. They're going to associate me with every couponer in the world. So I don't want to put a bad taste in everyone's mouth for a couponer. So I'm going to keep it kind, and, you know, and be cordial, and still be respectful, even when I'm being disrespected. So long story short, I called corporate, filed a complaint on him. Corporate is going to reprint my coupons that he took and did not give back to me. And then I also called the store and I filed a complaint against him. And the sad part was that the manager didn't quite seem surprised that this particular cashier was so rude. And he assured me that he is going to speak to that employee and, you know, reprimand him. And I did let the manager know that I reported him to corporate and I already filed a complaint. And so, but the manager was very, very nice. And so, you know, he said he would personally ring me up next time I go to the store, which is probably, well, I'll definitely take him up on that offer, because that male cashier was just atrocious. He was completely atrocious. So, completely atrocious. So, I think, you know, it's been a long time since I've done a couponing spoof video, but I think I'm going to do one. And I'm going to do it on rude cashiers, because no doubt as couponers we have all encountered at least one rude and nasty cashier. So if you have any video ideas for this couponing spoof video that I'm going to be working on, post your comments down below or send me a message on YouTube, or send me an email to my couponing or send me an email at daryluvescoupons.ca@gmail.com. And I will try my best to incorporate all of your ideas into this video. And so, you know, it's just kind of like, why take a job if you hate people? I don't get it. You can't be a cashier and hate people, just like you can't be a chef and not eat. You can't be a musician and not play an instrument. You know, it doesn't make sense. So, yeah, long story short, bad experience, reported him to corporate, and I complained to his store manager. So hopefully he'll have a change of attitude. And the goal is not to get someone in trouble, but if you're not doing your job, and this is the fourth incident I've had with him, and it was out of control. It was completely out of control. So I felt I did what I had to do, because if I don't say anything, it's just going to continue and it's just going to get worse. So thank you so much for listening to this rant and rampage. I'm sorry. And hopefully if you've ever encountered a rude cashier, that you handle the situation the same way, being kind, being polite, and reporting them to corporate. So thank you for watching. Like I said, I'm going to be working on that couponing spoof video of rude cashiers. So if you've encountered one or you have a video idea for it, post it down below in the comments section and I will work it into my video as best as I can. So thanks for watching. Happy couponing. Be sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Check me out on Instagram at DarylLovesCoupons, on Twitter at DarylLovesCoupon, no S, and check out my couponing website, ExtremeClippers.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, Extreme Clippers.